al-Hasan has said that this project, this divine project of establishing the divine just state, is a promise from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a promise from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's a truth that will happen, with or without anyone. And he swears that it is a truth which will happen in this lifetime, because it is Ahmad al-Hasan alayhi salam, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, whom was the one whom this promise was given to. Him and Imam Mahdi, Muhammad ibn Hassan al-Askari. It's interesting to see how the people deny the black banners and deny our da'wah, and yet they present absolutely no proofs. Their ways and their tricks of deception are like that of Amr ibn al-As and other ones, making up lies and slanders in order to bring down the character, destroy his reputation, and that's how they attack the da'wah. Not a single one of them has brought forth any sort of proof. Not a single one of them has brought forth any sort of evidence, or has ever even refuted any of the proofs of the black banners. Because quite simply, the proofs of the black banners are the proofs of the da'wah. And they're the proofs of Imam Ahmad al-Hasan salam as he brought them at the beginning of the da'wah. Don't ever think that Imam Ahmad al-Hasan salam was ignorant about anything. By Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Imam alayhi salam, and I heard this on the tongue of Abu Mikhail. He said that he had met one day Hussein al-Jabiri, before even the announcement of the black banners had came out, and he informed him that he was going to fail in this test. He informed him that he was going to fail in this test hard, and at that time Hussein al-Jabiri didn't even know who he was. Peace be upon Michael, peace be upon Abel, peace be upon all of the righteous believers that are here today, in this very room, and the ones that are surrounding us. By Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there will come a day where nobody is left upon this da'wah and upon this truth except 12 or 13 pure ones that worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The da'wah has no room for hypocrites, and I'm asking you all to do by the advice of Imam Ahmad, as he has told me a few days ago when I was speaking to him. He said it will be very hard for anybody to remain upon this truth and remain upon this da'wah, except for he who has two traits and holds tight to them. And those traits are, the first one is patience and patience and patience, and the second trait is submission. He who doesn't have those two traits will never be able to remain upon this path. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He grant all of the Ansar these two traits, because what's coming is much worse. What's coming is more harder. When these little fitnas happen online and it's raised to the Imam alayhi salam, the Imam alayhi salam says, then what will you guys do when the earthquakes happen? And an earthquake has not even happened yet. The Imam alayhi salam will continue to test us, test our resolve, until there remains nobody on this except for the purified 313 and believers that follow that in the second round. Patience and submission, the sabr with taslim, are the keys to this. Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to do everything that you can. Brothers and sisters, I encourage you to do everything you can. Every single minute which is passing by, we should feel ashamed for not doing anything for the sake of the da'wah. The submission with the 12 is at such a high degree that one feels ashamed when hearing the stories about them. One day Imam Ahmad al-Hasan salam told me, he said to me, do you know what Abu Mikhail says to me? He said, one day Abu Mikhail said to me, "My master, do you give me permission to breathe freely?" Listen to that. Abu Mikhail asking permission from Imam Ahmad al-Hassan salam to breathe air freely. That is his level of knowing the rights of Muhammad and the family of Muhammad alayhi salam. And yet, every day, hours, air, food, sustenance, we act as if it is our own, as if we are the ones that are giving ourselves life and power. And we've left the true mission of our life in this day and age. The true mission of us returning, the true purpose of us returning back from the graves. And I tell you, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, each and every one of the Ansar who believe in the da'wah today are Ansar whom have believed in their Prophet and their Messenger and their Vicegerent in their age and day, and they've been resurrected. That is the true nation of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This nation which exists today, the reincarnations of all of the Ansar of all the Prophets and the Messengers and all of the Prophets and the Messengers. This is the promised nation. And we're back not to enjoy a worldly life, and we're back not to be lazy, and we're back not to be hypocrites, but we're back to give support to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam in this day and age. People from all different countries and backgrounds and tongues gathered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this day and age in a way which will never happen ever again. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gathered us soon together, and that He keeps you firm upon the path. That He keeps you firm upon the path. That He allows us to gather with Imam Ahmad salam, all of us together as soon as possible. Long road still lies ahead, and it needs a lot of patience and a lot of work. And you should be, as I say, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if there remained nobody upon this matter except myself, I would not doubt and I would still remain firm. Thank you for all your support which you have given me. Thank you for your belief. Thank you for your support to Imam Ahmad al-Hassan and to my grandfather, Imam Muhammad ibn al-Hassan al-Askari alayhi salam, Imam al-Mahdi. Peace be upon them all. God bless Yasmin Fatimi and Rayat Sood, my dear brother Usama Qureshi, Adil Khuli, Ahmed Riza, brother Irfan, Kaisar, Tahir, Jafar Abbas, Rimi, and all of the believing brothers and sisters all over the world. Don't forget me in your du'as. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.